This is part 2 of section 1.4 equations of lines. We talked about slope-intercept form and mentioned point-slope form with a few problems in part 1 of this video, and also knowing our y equals a number and x equals a number information. So we're going to continue on from the point we left off, and we're going to start with find the equation of a line containing the given pair of points. Okay, they want us to go to slope-intercept form, which this is our destination. We want an equation in this format. To get there, we need an m, which is a slope, we need a b, which is a y-intercept, and then we need to plug in m and b. So, to find m, we're given 2 points, so we have to use our formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. When we substitute those values, if I need to label these first, then I'm going to have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Add my inverse there, and I have negative 9 over 3, which is negative 3. So I found my slope to be negative 3. Next, I need to find my y-intercept. My b is also, I'm looking for my y-intercept. So I take my formula, y equals mx plus b, and I substitute everything in except for the b. So I can choose either one of these points up here. I'm going to choose this first point. Okay, so y is going to be 5. M comes from right here, the slope we found in the previous portion. My x is negative 1, and then I have plus b because I'm solving for b. 5 equals 3 plus b. Get b by itself, so subtract 3 from both sides, and 2 is equal to b. Once I have my m, once I have my b, which is my y-intercept, my last step is to simply plug in the m, plug in the b. My m is negative 3, and my b is 2, so I bring down the rest of the equation. Y equals negative 3x plus 2. This is going to be slope-intercept form of the equation that goes to the order pair negative 1, 5 and 2, negative 4. In this next section, we're going to talk about parallel lines have the same slopes. The graph of parallel lines look like this. They never cross, they never touch. Perpendicular lines have slope which are opposite reciprocals, and graphs of those kind of lines look like that. We're going to be asked to determine whether the following lines are parallel, which means same, perpendicular, which means opposite reciprocal, or neither one of those. So all we're looking at in this is the slope. We want to know our given slope, which is, if I know my formula is y equals mx plus b, I only need to know the slope. So in this first equation, my slope is 26 over 3. In my second equation, it's negative 3 over 26. So we see that they are opposite because one's positive and one's negative, so they're opposite. And the first one's 26 over 3, and the second one is flipped to 3 over 26, so they're opposite reciprocals, which means this one is perpendicular. In equation B, this is y equals 7 minus, this should be 2x. And the second equation is y equals x plus 3. We're only concerned with the slope. So the slope of B is negative 2, the first equation, and the slope in the second equation is a known 1. Okay, one's negative and one's positive, so it's opposite, but it's not the reciprocal. So since it's not either one, it's going to be neither. In equation C, problem C, the slope of this first one is 3 halves. In the second equation, the slope is 1.5, but since 3 halves is the same thing as 1.5, they have the same slope. So that means these are parallel lines. Okay, this next problem is going to be our longest, most difficult problems we encounter in this section. It says write the slope-intercept form of an equation, which means we want y equals mx plus b, through the given point, and that's parallel. Then we want a second equation that is perpendicular to the given line. So first of all, it's going to be like a two-part problem. We're going to work parallel, and then after that we're going to work the perpendicular. To start, we start with our given equation, which is f of x. All we need out of this given equation is just the slope. Other than that, we will never use it again. F of x means the same thing as y equals negative 2x minus 4. So our slope of the given line is negative 2. That's the only information we need from that highlighted version. We'll never need it again. Now, to start, I'm going to work with parallel. My m is negative 2 because parallel says use the same slope. So I'm going to use the same as this for m is negative 2. Okay, now my b says if I take my formula, y equals mx plus b, and I substitute this in for x, negative 4. If I substitute negative 5 in for y, my m is negative 2, and solve for b. So I have negative 5 equals negative 2 times negative 4 is a positive 8, plus b. Get b by itself, so subtract 8 from both sides. Negative 13 is equal to b. I have my m, I have my b. Last step, plug in the m, plug in the b. So y equals negative 2x minus 13. This is an equation of line that's parallel to the given line in the beginning. Now, part 2 of this says, also we want you to find the perpendicular line. So we're going to start with our slope. Okay, we want an opposite reciprocal of this. If this one's negative, we want positive. And if that's 2 over 1, we want 1 over 2. So we start with the opposite reciprocal slope. And then we're also going to say y equals mx plus b, and we're going to find b. We're going to use our y. Our y comes up here, negative 5, equals our m is 1/2. X comes up here with negative 4. And then we have plus b. Simplifying, we have negative 5 equals, if I put that over 1, I get negative 4 divided by 2, which is negative 2, plus b when I simplify that fraction. Get b by itself and add 2 to both sides. Negative 3 is equal to b. Once you have your m, once you have your b, last step, plug in the m, plug in the b. Y equals 1/2 x minus 3. This is a line that is perpendicular to the given equation.